Welcome back to Weekend Movie Bros, where I am Jacob. That is Idiot.
Hi, I just want to come here and tell you guys that this review is pulled from our weekly or bi-weekly podcast that we do over here. The image above is the podcast that it's pulled from. There's, of course, always a link in the cards to it in case you want to watch the entire podcast. And yeah, that's all. Just in case there's like a joke in here or something along those lines. These are adult reviews. We do say adult language and stuff in them. I just want to give that heads up as well in case you guys are not familiar with us. Let's go ahead and jump into it. It's unedited, so it's exactly how it is in the podcast as well. So go ahead and enjoy.
Let's talk about a movie. Let's do it. One thing to take away here. I've decided to put the fast. So I have a few things. I'm gonna tell Zachary if he should watch it or not. He already knows he should, but essentially, Fast X is the 10th movie in the long-running Fast and the Furious franchise. Judge me for watching it. I don't care.
Isn't it the 11th?
We don't. Hobbs and Shaw is not a part of the main timeline, the mainstream line of movies.
But for numbers quality's sake, this is the 11th film in the
Yes.
Fast and Furious
I
franchise.
watched 11 Fast and Furious 10 movies before this to get prepared for this one.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I did. This is true. I watched them in a weird order, the proper order.
Why would you not mention Hobbs and Shaw?
I did. I know it is truly. If you've not seen Hobbs and Shaw, it's just genuinely a good movie. And they're really, and honestly, you don't need to have like any connection to the Fast and the Furious world at all to watch it. So like, yeah,
They barely mention anybody from the movies.
It was such a bad feud. They didn't care, so they didn't mention anybody. But if you like some of those characters, they pop up in other Fast and Furious movies that you could go watch too. Fast 5 is a standout. Fast 7 is a standout. Fast X is a standout. So with that being said, I did go back and rewatch a lot of these in theaters. They were playing them for the 10 days leading up. And I saw the first one in theaters again. I saw the fifth one in theaters again. Very stoned. I saw Unmilling to Me. It's just a complicated story. It's fine. And then I saw the seventh one in theaters and the eighth one in theaters again because my mom and I had never seen it together. The first one made me cry in theaters. It should have been a rated R movie. Those are my takeaways. Also, it was kind of gay. But everything to me is gay, so like it's not that shocking of a twist. Fast X, let's go to the main one, is set after the events of Fast 9. If you haven't seen them, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but they got some big players in here. There's a few deaths in this movie that did shock me. There's obviously a twist ending because, well, fun fact, somebody caved and came back. Not going to say who.
Jacob, without saying who, you just said who.
Exactly. And he got exiled out of a different franchise. He was like,
the hierarchy of the Fast and the Furious movies changed.
And
unwillingly.
My big takeaway, my big walk away from this movie, other than the fact that I was on cloud 9 when I walked out of this film, I called Zachary and you could hear it in my voice. I was just genuinely it's super happy and just like this is the best Fast movie since oh my god in so long.
It was me with Transformers.
Now, I did not go see it again. I used the rule of thumb that I use for Marvel movies. Sometimes one and done is the best way to go. And Fast X, I will watch it at home. Obviously, I'll watch it as my catch-up that I do every year for these movies, or every 2 years when I rewatch them. But it's definitely not a movie that I'm going to particularly want to rewatch a bunch of times because it does make me a little bit anxious that it doesn't hold up outside of that first initial viewing. And I don't want to ruin the beauty that it does have in my mind because it truly was a fucking phenomenal film. Everybody does a great job, except for one actress that makes me kind of sad. That'd be Brie Larson. But I do hope because if she does come back, if love, story wise, we'll see. People do die in this movie. She could be one of them. I don't want to spoil any for anybody who has not seen it yet. I do hope if there's more of her in other movies that are in the same realm or anything like that, she's more game to actually being an actress and not game for someone who's just there to have a good time. Because that seemed more on the lines. For somebody who I was really looking forward to being in the movie, it was a bit disappointing. If you're not looking forward to it, I don't think you would notice. Because I normally don't notice acting like that. But I think because I was still looking forward to it. But with that being said, Ratcatcher 2, Danielle, we're going to call her Ratcatcher 2 because I cannot pronounce that name, was fucking phenomenal here. And her story arc is beautiful. and it's like one of the top standouts. But the standout, the reason why I recommend this movie, other than Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez's fight, which is really short, but it's worth it, is Jason fucking Momoa. I've never liked Jason Momoa in most things that he's been in. I've enjoyed it. I've watched almost everything he's done, but he is the standout in this movie. He is beautiful. I want 9 more. I want 9 more of Dante. 9 more movies. I don't think I'd get bored. He went wild. He is so free. He can do whatever he wants. And Universal, literally, there's one scene that involves nail polish, and that's all I will say. That is one of the most disturbing things I've seen this year in any movie. And it was in a Fast and Furious movie, and it was shocking. I mean, shocking. The unhingedness of him, like the true unhingedness, just for fun. The things he just thinks are fun, are insane. There's also Charlize Theron has 2 fight sequences in it, and they're both phenomenal. The directing here is phenomenal. The writing is about on par with every other Fast and Furious movie you'll watch. Nothing to stand out wise, but it was still good. It hit me in the right moments, and that's all that really matters. My big takeaway, and this is my only thing, has to do with Jordana Brewster's Mia Toretto, is there's a certain point in the beginning of the movie where they're sitting down to have their big feast. This ends on a cliffhanger, so they can't do it at the end of the movie, so they switched it for the beginning. Is the fact that obviously Brian's not there because Natalie Paul Walker passed away in 2017, but none of her kids are there either, and she has 2 kids. And we've not seen them since Paul Walker had died. I'm sure that's a very much objective choice. But because Fast 7, the last one that he was a part of, was so much against him being a family man. Like, it was so much against him being this person who's just watching the kids. And because Jordana Brewster really fought hard to be a part of the action of these movies. Good for her. She deserves it. She does a good job with it. I'm not complaining in that regard. But it does feel weird when she's here with certain characters and no one else a part of her family is. It almost feels really disjointed, and it felt that way in this movie particularly, because even though if they wouldn't bring back Paul Walker, even just having like her son there or something, I think would have made the bigger difference. Like not even having both of her kids. We've never even seen the daughter, but just the son.
I feel like having the son there would make sense now because Dom and Letty have...
Especially because this whole movie is about little Brian, little B. I'm called little B because I don't like the name Brian. Just it's never sat well with me. But either way, little B is such a huge part of this movie, and a lot of reasons why he doesn't really work. But they're trying to set it up to pass on the baton to him for future, like for Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez to take a back seat, still be a part of them, but they want to make more past this. They can just with a newer generation type of thing. I think introducing, his cousins, would be the smart thing, and they could do that in the next one for sure. Yeah. I just hope that they do. I'm not saying Paul Walker needs to come back because I understand, I get it. I think anybody who is familiar with the story can also understand. And I mean, his family's fine with it. Meadows in this movie, she has a very small little cameo, but it was a good cameo and things. But yeah, there's also some other cameos that do work as well. It's a chock full good movie. I had a great time. Very excited for part 2 when it comes out in 2025. But yeah, that is
2025 is so busy.
Moving on to Zach. Oh, I didn't rate it. When I got out of the theater, I think I gave it a 5. I think I told Zachary it was perfect. Yeah. I think those were my words. On retrospect speaking, it's like a 4.5. It's like a 4.5. It's still the best thing. Also, the best recommendation I can get. Watch Fast 9. See how horrible a movie that is. Truly, almost unwatchable. Then watch this and it's shades better. You'll just be like, this is amazing. Oh, and also, for costing $365 million, Universal? No. I don't care how much money you're making off of streaming. No movie should cost that much money unless it's like Avengers or something. Because there's just so many casts, there's so many people to pay. That's the only reason why it should cost that money.
Vin Diesel was like, they're all getting their due.
Yeah, I mean, that's truly what it is. There's so many cameos in this movie, and they all got paid very handsomely, even if they only have like 6 seconds of screen time.
Do you think one cameo got paid handsomely or no?
Yes, I do. Vin Diesel pays. That's like one of the big things. That's why people stay committed to these roles. Why they keep coming back year after year is because they get paid very well. But for it costing so much money, I think the VFX could be 10 times better than what they are. There's
Can I ask you a question?
sure
Were the VFX better in Transformers or Fast X?
Transformers for sure. But I would say there are outside of the third act for Transformers, there's less VFX in Transformers than there are in Fast X.
Which is impressive, is it not?
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. And I don't know. There's one particular shot that ends the movie that I was like, that was a bad shot to end this movie on. That's for sure.
I feel like everybody talks about another scene from Fast X when it comes to the CGI nonsense.
Oh, are you talking about HQ? Because anything to do with any of that shit? No, that's a horrible idea. I like the more grounded HQ, the ones they're introduced in this season. The ones before where they're in like little the little warehouses that they do.
The little warehouses.
That's what they should do. They never do this.
Come on in. We're going to the warehouse with the cars.
Yeah, no, that's what they should do because that was atrocious. I didn't want to talk about it, but I did want to mention it for anybody out there who's like, talk about how bad the VFX are. I did. They're not great, but it still doesn't make the movie bad. It all just makes it kind of seem like a Saturday morning cartoon in a way, just for adults. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe that. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon for adults. That's Fast X. Wow, I knocked it out of the park. Okay.
I find now this makes more sense why I like Fast X so much. That was your Saturday morning cartoon. I saw my Saturday morning cartoon in June. So now we're good.
And I would say this is more of a Saturday morning cartoon than your Saturday morning cartoon.
Really?
Yes. Trust me, you'll understand. But yes.